Well, look at where we are. We're in Ready Bottle Depot for this episode of Adapting. And I'm pretty excited about this one because we're going to be talking about employment in the workplace and mainly just profit organizations, I believe.
Yeah, and some of those things about what the journey looks like along the way.
Yeah.
Right? Inclusive employment is not something that everybody knows a lot about. So I think that's a really important thing to share too.
Honestly, I didn't know it was a thing until I got diagnosed, honestly.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that little bits about what make us unique are actually the things that can stand in our way from people, right? From getting a job, from being included in X, Y, or Z. I like my weird, man. I like my different things.
I know the feeling firsthand because when I first started looking for jobs when I was like 18 and whatnot, just out of college, I told them about what had happened and why I was on AISH. They said, we're not going to be hiring you at this time because we have many other candidates to look at. I knew it was because I told them I had ADHD and autism and whatnot.
Sometimes I think people think it takes a lot of extra time to create these opportunities, but that's not true.
Yeah,
I mean, we all have accommodations and things in the workplace. I have tons of accommodations in the workplace. My chair goes up and down. My keyboard's at a thing. I have a sit-stand desk. I have a tilted monitors that can go wherever I need to. I have a touchscreen laptop that docks into my computer because I have to work at home sometimes.
That's awesome.
Right? Like, it's just little things that most people have at work anyway. Maybe not the touchscreen laptop. That one's pretty sweet. But like to have all these little pieces in place to make my life a little more comfortable while I'm at work because I need a little extra support.
Yeah. Me too. Since I recently started a new job, they say they make me feel comfortable by giving the maximum of 15 hours per week because of age. And mainly it's just all-inclusive environment because the people at my new job are awesome. Definitely 100%.
Yeah, you just started a new one recently, right?
Yeah.
Well, today we're going to be talking to the incredible Bailey McBride and her wonderful mom, Jen. And they're going to tell us a little bit about the journey of what things have been like towards getting employment and really about growing up with some different challenges. Because, it's hard being a parent. And sometimes we want to do a little too much. We talked to a few parents
before. We talked to Tony. We talked to Miles's mother. We talked to my mother.
Yeah.
And it's been a whirlwind for all of them from a parental perspective. But every book has a different story. You just got to open the cover.
That's right.
And I think I'm ready to open this cover this time.
Me too. All right, you ready to dig in?
Let's do it.
Okay. Welcome for joining us here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, honestly, because Robin's told me a lot about you, Bailey, and to think that we both gone through some similar challenges, I thought I was the only one, honestly, yeah.
It makes a big difference when we know there's somebody
really
else that's
does.
experienced the same
Definitely.
things, right? Yeah, Jen and I were talking really quick. The mom thing is real.
The mom thing is very real. Yeah. And I think even as parents, we feel alone in the battle.
Absolutely.
For support. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always a rumble along the way.
Yep.
So Bailey, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit about your job. We're actually in your workplace right now. We've been on a little road trip lately, so really excited to land here. So tell us a little bit about what you do for work.
So, here at the Bottle Depot, I am what we call a greeter. So if, say, people come into the doors, I help with directing people to where the windows that are open so that the counters can, they can help people. I also help with keeping the front clean, taking out the garbages. If we get deliveries here, I help with pushing them forward so that the counter at window number 1 can help with just making sure that it's all counted up. And yeah.
So you're kind of the face of the depot.
I kind of am, yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. So how does it feel to have employment here? How does it feel to have a job?
It feels like I am part of a community where I felt secluded for a few, years pretty much. And it makes me feel that I am part of a team, and it makes me very, very happy to be here.
I'm a team person too.
Definitely, me
Not
too.
a sports team person. I'm terrible at sports, but I love to have a work team.
Yeah, working in a team is like the best course of action for people like us. Because if we're left to do things alone, crash, burn, fire in a dumpster.
Right?
That's all that happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes, absolutely. Bailey, you were telling us a little bit earlier about, that things weren't always so great when you first started into the employment world.
Yes. Yeah. So I didn't understand my disability, and neither did the employer of the job that I worked at before. And so they just kind of labeled me as lazy because I did not understand what I was supposed to do. And I didn't understand that I needed to ask for help with certain things, because I would say, yeah, and there was just nothing there. And also, if somebody was pointing at a distance, I didn't understand why they were, so I would look at them with two heads, and then they would just be like, oh, you don't understand, and walk away.
Well, and true, you needed more information, right?
Yeah.
That's a tricky communication thing to learn along the way that I think we all need to learn too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. People have to learn this word, specify.
Yeah.
Because I got that problem too. Because during my first job at this is before I got diagnosed, rushes were insanity. Mainly because check the counter, make the fries, make the drink, do at the same time.
Yeah.
I crashed and burned like right away. I was like, I'd rather eat the food than just make the food,
Yeah.
honestly.
Some of us, that's what we do best, right?
Yeah.
It just depends. It doesn't fit for everybody. What was that like for you to walk through, Jen?
She struggled, and she would come home in tears often. They had her doing some pretty horrible jobs, and she didn't say no. She didn't know she could say no. It took a shot to her confidence for sure. She was so excited when she got her first job, like so excited. I have a picture of her on my phone and dropping her off that day, and I remember how excited she was. And so to see like how much it impacted her mental health and her confidence was hard. It was really hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I will say where she is now, like it is night and day. Like she is excited. She loves her job. She loves coming to work. She talks about her work all the time with enthusiasm. So that's amazing. She does. She talks about the team a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I really like my team here.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So Jen, can you tell us a little bit about what that journey's been like then? So it started off not so great, and I have Kleenex just in case. But that journey along the way, because I make up that from what I know of Bailey, you're fantastic.
Yeah.
You always have a smile on your face. You're kind to everybody. You articulate well. You communicate well. So like I can see where someone might think, oh, well, you don't really need a lot of help along the way, right?
Yeah.
That could be a battle.
Bae was little, because especially in school, you need a label. You need to have a specific label. So we tested her. We tested her up the front and down the back, and there was never any definitive like label for her, and that was tough because it was a constant battle for support. It was especially in like the higher grades in high school and stuff like that. A lot of labeling. So I think one of the hardest things was she is happy. She is pure joy. And she didn't fit into any specific group. And so she was lucky to find her best friend,
Yeah.
who has been amazing. But I remember her graduation, her high school graduation, and we fought for that too, because she struggled with the academics.
Yeah.
And like I always say this about her, she intellectually, maybe she struggles, but this human being, her emotional intelligence is off the charts.
Absolutely.
So watching her in high school graduation was really tough as a parent, but she was beautiful and she was gracious and she danced her butt off because that's who she is. And then after high school, there was a couple of years where things just kind of mellowed, and it was, what was she going to do? She did find some other employment for a little while. There was some schooling, some education that needed to happen with that. And she struggled with that.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of a journey. Finding the supports that she's got through Ready has been transformational for her independence. So that's been really big. I've always worked in the industry where we're like navigating supports and stuff. So that's also been a bit of a challenge. Knowing when to step up and when to step back. And I often didn't realize how strong she was and maybe overstepped, but she's incredible.
She is incredible.
She is incredible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's hard. We never want to see our kids struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, she's had some pretty big hits to the self-confidence in her adolescence and early adulthood, but she keeps getting up. She keeps going forward.
Mm.
Yeah.
There are two quotes that I applied to that situation. When you get knocked down, come back roaring, and people are butts.
Yes.
I know the feeling all too well. High school and jobs kind of like knocked me down because I could not do them at all. And since you got back up, and I barely know you 5 minutes, and I know you're awesome, and honest to God, just being able to get back up after something so grueling is a lot of strength on its own. So I commend you for that, honestly. Because I needed help, honestly. I was like, I give up, I'll be in my bed eating the chocolate.
Yeah, I get that. I was that same way. I didn't get out. When Mom would be like, why don't you go out with some friends or go just out in the public? I was like, I don't want to. I just want to stay home.
Mm.
But even when she was just little, so I remember in kindergarten, like Bay's always been so self-sufficient. I remember walking into the kindergarten room and she was the kid in the back with a book, happy, so freaking happy. And, like she was just so self-sufficient. You didn't need a whole lot around you to be completely okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there were some really touch and go moments, maybe a little bit of protection with the mom love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of it. Yeah.
So based on where Bailey is now and all this incredible growth that you've seen from her in young adulthood, what is your biggest dream for her?
Honestly, I just want her to be happy. Whatever that looks like. Apparently it's guinea pigs and cats, but
that's not a bad combination.
That is never a bad combination. I'm jealous because I can't have cats. My mum's allergic, so I have to protect my mum for once.
Same with my mom. She's allergic too.
Yeah. I honestly, like, it just is like, we've got a really strong family. She's got lots of support. She's got some incredible friends. And I just want her to be able to dream big, to pursue whatever that looks like, to be happy, and like, and to continue to do whatever the heck she wants, because she's capable of anything. So, my goodness. Okay. Okay. She did a personal development, like a women's personal development course in San Francisco. Okay.
You went to San Francisco?
I did. I went there twice.
That's on my bucket list.
Wow.
Yeah.
I only went to San Fran once, and it was to visit Alcatraz.
So I was really concerned, because this is a group of women, like women. There's doctors, lawyers, like these professional women in this room. And I had a friend that was in the same course, like the same program. Of course, I was. Okay, and just to be clear, I folded her clothes in like outfits.
Yeah.
Like, to the point that the socks went to. Oh, that was ridiculous.
I can't unsee that.
It was bad.
It was a lot.
It does sound very practical though.
Yeah.
So I'm with you both.
So then, in this personal development course, where all of these women. There was a point in that course where there was a lot of, like, the women were talking over each other and bickering and that kind of stuff, because that happens with women at times. And this human being here, stood on a chair and commanded the room and brought everybody back and focused. Like, we're talking like high-powered women, and you are a high-powered woman, and she commanded the room. So it was, when they came back and told this story, I was just like, heck yeah, she did. And then a little bit of like that guilt thing, because you're just like again, I doubted, and I didn't ever have to. So,
well, sometimes our kids teach us more than we ever thought possible.
Truth.
Yeah,
right?
that's the truth.
And I think personally, because I know this happened for me, so my truth is, I just love them so dang much. I wanted to protect from anything I possibly could.
Yeah.
And realizing that really I couldn't do any of that.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, they had to have all those scraped knees, and they had to fail at a few things, and maybe lose a job here, or have a little struggle there.
Yeah.
That all of that goes towards making them these great, incredible humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember teaching my parents a few things. My father was in the military, so we moved all around. And throughout that entire time, I never gave up at all. And my mother, she freezes up when I drive. So she was like, "You're not gonna be able to do this. I'm not gonna be able to handle this. I'm not gonna be able to handle this." And then I like turned the corner, and my dad's in the back, just trying not to laugh. He's like, "She can do it. she's a capable woman." And honestly, when I never get to teach my dad anything, because he's always like the strong military veteran, but I did teach him one thing: girls can have power too.
Yeah.
So Bailey, now I want to ask you the question. So what is your big dream for you?
My big dream is living somewhere far from a city. So like in a quiet town, or just like a little kind of town with cats and guinea pigs.
Then a piece of advice: stay away from England. It's always too closed in, and there are people everywhere.
So do you think you'd want to stay in Canada? Do you have dreams of going somewhere else?
Just maybe like in Canada, but outside of like the big cities, because it's I mean, I do get supports here and help, and I have family here, but sometimes seclusion just kind of feels right sometimes.
It's like they always say, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I wanted to travel to Sydney, Australia for the longest time, but another part of me just doesn't want to leave everyone behind. So that's why I'm considering either Toronto or Vancouver. But maybe a smaller town because I'm tight on the money.
Yeah.
That's the thing about dreams, right? We never know where they'll end up. We never
Yeah.
know when they'll happen or how they're going to fit into places. I totally understand the wanting to be in a quiet space.
Yeah.
I live outside of town. Okay, I live in Redcliffe. But it's quieter in Redcliffe than it is in the Hat here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that little space just on the edge. I go out to a ranch quite a bit, and yeah, there's nothing like a little peace from the, I know, hustle and bustle of the booming metropolis of Medicine Hat. I know, but
Yeah.
Like I live by the golf course and I just take a walk when it's closed. I'm like,
so before we started, I had some things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I wrote them on a board, except I didn't wear my glasses. And I have this thing about 15 feet away that I struggle to see. So I wrote everything really small. So Dalton's holding this thing over there. And I'm like, oh yeah, beforehand, don't worry, I'll remember. This is another one of those accommodations I need because I actually don't remember what I wrote on the board in that spot. But so he's playing games with me right now. So tell me about the struggle. Tell me about the struggle and what from the struggle part, how the value of support moved into things. How has your life changed once you hit that rumble part and got into the support piece of your life?
So, like, with struggling for just like life in general, like I said, I didn't like to go out in public. I just wanted to stay home, be like isolated because of what happened in high school. It was hard hitting. It was really hard hitting. And I also really didn't know how to cook for myself. So it was like the struggle with that and keeping myself clean and just whatever. And with jobs too, like it was hard because I didn't understand why people would label me as lazy or like not being able to do all this stuff because I knew I could do it. I just was having a lot of struggles. And the supports really helped me with just getting out and finding myself and having good self-confidence in myself.
heck yes. That's what I like to hear. Because struggles are very, very prevalent in any story. Mental disorders, physical disorders. You've lost a
Illness.
cat, there's always you lost a cat, there's always a struggle. But the fact that there are supports out there to help you enough is brilliant.
Yeah.
That's how you know that there are willingness to help. And honestly, finding supports is hard enough because I remember when I tried to get diagnosed, we had to find supports in Calgary because I remember hearing my mother weeping saying that there were no supports in Medicine Hat. But I'm known as what is called stubborn. So I was just like looking up supports in Medicine Hat. They just kept on showing me pictures of step stools, but I was like, there has got to be something. So yeah,
We've got a pretty good network of support here in the Hat.
definitely ready. I've got the YMCA, got my family, I've got my best friends living in Lethbridge. They're all awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about what some of those supports are to you. What kinds of things do those supports help you with now that you have them? Like, how has your life changed from that? Okay, we know you're more confident.
I am more confident.
You're the face of a company, but whatever. But what other things in your life have changed then since you've gotten some supports?
So since I've gotten supports, I've been able to get out and make new friends, ones that are for life, like my best friend, and just everyone around me. I've been able to move out. I have been living by myself for a while now. And just like helping me find an amazing job that makes me happy, and I can actually talk about my team and be like, oh yeah, this happened this day and this happened and oh my goodness, let me tell you what happened. Like
Was that pretty scary when she moved out?
Yes. Yes. I mean, we have a lot of family, and we had ready supports in place at that time. So we knew we had some. And then like just navigating the buses and all of that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
So was Ready quite a bit of support then through that process for you?
Yeah, I navigated the buses by myself, but they helped me with like, okay, so we got to keep this clean, or we got to go out to do this, or we're organizing this, would you like to come? And I just kind of was like building up my confidence and being like, yes, I would like to come to do this, or okay, I need to write out a grocery list for this day, or
there was a like Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Talk about Comic-Con.
oh yeah. So I organized a Comic-Con trip for Ready, because I wanted to go to Calgary for the Comic-Con, and so yeah, it was really hectic because I was in the middle of moving. So
House.
and so I managed to move out on the same day of going to Comic-Con.
Very cool. Was it fun?
It was really fun.
Yeah. So like arranged it, like found, like you were the one that was like the spearhead behind all of that.
Yeah.
Like,
That's really cool. I remember hearing about that trip, and a lot of people had a great time. The pictures were
What
fantastic.
A lordy. Dealing with that and moving out, that
Yeah.
is, I would not be able to do that.
You really did raise a powerhouse.
I
Jen.
know, I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah,
And plus, she
she
went to Comic Expo. My soul is soaring.
well, and she's gone every year since
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. I've only been there once.
Yeah, yeah.
Did it feel a little safer knowing she had some of those supports in place, though?
Big time. And I mean, even her social network and stuff like that has grown exponentially through with with Ready. It's been pretty cool to see, because and like the Ready camp every year, she gets super pumped. Like, this is a big deal. This is a big deal, and comes back with all of her stories and pictures. And yeah, it's been really good. Just even because we go in, and help her out with cleaning and stuff, but it does take a lot of pressure off, because I do work full time, and her dad works full time,
Yeah.
and like it's a big commitment, and just knowing somebody else has got it, checking in on her,
Mm-hmm.
she's got it. However, it does help. It does.
I don't think mom's ever fully let go of that piece of just needing to be a little dialed in. Just a little dialed in
Just
to
a
make sure
little,
things are
yeah.
okay.
Maybe a little too much at times.
Guilty as charged as well. I get it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so ladies, there's one more thing that I really want to ask you about. So what would you tell someone else? Let's start with you, Bailey. What would you tell someone else who is struggling and is struggling to find people that'll communicate with them, that'll listen to them, like an employer? What would you tell them?
I would tell them, just kind of like say, hey, I have this disability, and just kind of explain what it is. And if the employer doesn't really get it, or doesn't start kind of labeling you, just not take it to heart, and be like, okay, I am working as hard as I can, and if they need me to do more, just ask, or be like, I'm really sorry, I cannot do that. That is under my comfort. That is like, I'm not comfortable with this.
Do you think that they'd be missing out on some really great people if they didn't listen like that?
I think they would.
I think so too. And then what about the person that's struggling out there to be heard? What would you tell that person that was in your shoes?
Not everything should be taken to heart. I know that it's hard, and it sucks a lot. It sucks big time. But you can build yourself up to the point where you feel more confident.
I think everybody deserves to have that place where they can go to every day and feel comfortable and feel supported.
Yeah.
When you go to work, I think it's a really important thing to have in life, is that team
Mhm.
around you, those people that employer that gets you, that person that will listen.
Yeah.
Because we're no different.
Yeah.
I communicate differently than a lot of people do, right? I think I deserve to be heard. I think we all deserve to be heard.
I think
We
so
all
too.
deserve. Yeah, we all deserve a seat at the table.
Yeah.
definitely,
Right?
definitely. We all deserve the mic at least once in our lives.
Absolutely.
Even though I spout out stuff from another dictionary, I'm still talking, and people should have the chance to listen.
Yeah.
No matter how weird the speech pattern is. If we're a bit shy, give us some time. If we're from a different country, take the time to learn. And if we've got something knocking about in here, open the cover and find out what it is.
Yeah.
Just so you can better understand the person that you're sitting across from. It's like one of my favorite songs by Depeche Mode, People Are People.
I'm never getting that out of my head. It's there for the entire day. It's never going away.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Genuinely. I actually like that. Now I have a little ditty in my head. All right, Jen, what would you tell people?
I think, communication. I think at times I made assumptions. I controlled things instead of asking questions. And so I think I trust, patience, trust that it's going to be okay. Trust that she had it handled. There is a beauty to being unique, to being different, to not fitting into the mold that I wish I would have embraced a lot sooner, because it is what makes her absolutely perfect. And so that is probably my big, is just letting go of any of those expectations of what should be and embracing what is, because it is the uniqueness. It is that special piece that makes her absolutely perfect. And I think we all fight against it at times, Oh, yeah.
I absolutely feel that.
Yeah.
You're making me teary. That's not how this is supposed to work.
You'll be fine.
But it's true, though. It's that piece, right? That piece that makes us different along the way.
Yeah.
I wish that was a lesson I learned when I was younger. Believe it or not, I was a quiet human. I never said a word.
You were quiet?
I was very quiet. I would never speak my piece. I would throw up if I was meaning to talk in front of people. And at the same time, I always felt I had a message to share. And it took me getting really, really sick. And after my mastectomy, I was like, wow, I feel this total liberation to be myself, just accepting exactly like your mom said, what is. And I like this vessel 10 times more now. So there's great power in that. So keep it simple out
Definitely,
there.
yeah.
And just embrace that unique piece of you. I think it goes a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
I found the weird piece of myself when I was 14. I started getting bullied viciously in junior high because I was different. I was like the weird kid. And I was like very, very pushed down to the level of bricks, the way my dad used to say. And whenever it comes to just being like on the ground or like up there, you're good wherever, honestly. And when I finally stood up to them, I was like, I could just be myself. I don't care. They could say whatever they want to say. I'm me. They got to deal with it.
It's very liberating.
Definitely.
Very
Yeah.
liberating.
That's why I always say whenever I end live streams, embrace the weird. And I'm embracing the weird right now.
I love my awkwardness. All right, so it's just about time to say goodbye. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we close off our interview, our little chat today?
Just be you. That's all you can really do, is just be yourself, and whatever happens, happens.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Right, Mom?
I
you
can't
feel
beat
pretty
that.
good? No.
I can't beat that.
I'm with you. Thank you so much for chatting with us and sharing some of your stories today. It was lovely. It was
Yeah,
very nice.
definitely,
you.
definitely.
Thank you.
And I didn't forget a name once. So.
Yeah, clearly not. Get this woman an award.
It only took a few times, but
True.
so how fun was that?
Very much so, honestly. Having to hear Bailey's story and Jenny's perspective on it, I was like, this is like me. I have to reevaluate my life choices. Mom, I'm sorry. Just like that kind of thing.
I think it's pretty cool to hear that everybody's on this, that there's other people on this same path, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That we're not alone walking this. And I love hearing when people find their place, when they find a community that embraces them and the things that make them different, and they start to thrive, and this whole new world opens up.
Yeah, definitely.
Of just being you and walking that way through life. I think it's so much less stressful and so much how this journey is meant to be.
Yeah. Because in high school, you're always given a label, which really makes me mad. Like, you're given the label as the weird kid, or the prom queen, or the guy that smokes in the smoker's pit. Just, I hate that. And when I finally graduated high school, I found my community of, like, just people that are like me. And the people that actually care about you, those opinions truly matter.
Yeah.
Just don't get brought down by bad things. You'll always come back roaring like an angry tiger.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for joining us again on this journey. We have one more stop on our road trip, and I can't wait to show you where we're going to land next. It's going to be a lot of fun. Take care. Keep adapting.
And don't be afraid to stay weird. We'll see you next time.